All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, April 2, 2024 Urbandale City Council meeting. I will call the meeting to order and ask Nicole to take roll call, please.
Bodie,
Here.
McBurney,
Here.
Rosendahl,
Here.
and Kroll and Carberry Montgomery are absent.
All right, thank you. Yes, we do have a couple council members that are absent, but they have very good excuses tonight, so we were operating with a quorum tonight at any event. So please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Urbandale's a national leader in character counts, endeavoring at all times to promote and model the principles of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting tonight's meeting, we expect that all participants will act in a respectful manner consistent with these principles. Item 2 is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote.
Straight off all night. Might as well.
That might be. All right, that passes. Item 3, presentations. We do have some very special presentations tonight. First, we're going to start with the oath of office for Officer Ryan Mincks, and I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Taylor to present Ryan Mincks. So, Sergeant Taylor.
Just go stand right there. There you go. City Manager, Mayor, Council members, this is Officer Ryan Mincks. Officer Ryan Mincks is a graduate from Southeast Polk High School. Officer Mincks went to Iowa State and while there worked at the local airport and got his pilot's license. Officer Mincks was a juvenile probation officer in Indiana prior to going into law enforcement. Officer Mincks started his law enforcement career with the Goddard Police Department in Kansas. Officer Mincks is currently working the day shift as he completes his field training, and Officer Mincks is married and has a small daughter.
I, Ryan Mincks. With the City of Urbandale. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Iowa. That I will faithfully and impartially. To the best of my ability. Discharge all of the duties. Of the office of police officer. Of the City of Urbandale, Iowa. That is now and hereafter required by law. Officer Mincks, do you want to introduce your family formally for us?
This is my baby Madeline. This is my wife Natalie, my brother Adam, my dad Jack, and my mom Brenda.
Thanks for joining Urbandale. Thank you for serving and protecting our community. And we just want to let you know, Ryan will have our full support as a city. So thank you for being his support system. He's going to have some very good days and he's going to have some very bad days. So thank you for being his support system. We're going to do the best to keep him safe on our streets. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, then, we do have several proclamations for this month. First is the proclamation for Transgender Day of Visibility 2024. Whereas Transgender Day of Visibility is held annually on March 31st as a time to celebrate transgender and non-binary people by acknowledging the determination it takes to live openly and authentically. And whereas we're all reminded that many transgender and non-binary people face barriers and violence because of transphobia and discrimination. We must remember that it's important to recognize that unconscious bias causes harm and that we all must take responsibility for checking our biases. And whereas transgender and non-binary community members proudly live, work, and serve in Urbandale, and the city of Urbandale is an inclusive community where no one should live in fear of being who they are or who they love. Now therefore, I, Robert Andeweg, Mayor of the city of Urbandale, do hereby proclaim March 31, 2024 as Transgender Day of Visibility in Urbandale, and proclaim that our community is stronger and more meaningful when everyone is included, represented, and celebrated for who they are. And I believe we have some folks, do we have from the Civil Rights Commission? Yep. You get a picture? We missed it by a couple days, but we're gonna, we still got to stay.
Take a picture? Yeah, the mayor in the middle, that'd be great. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
You want to say a few words on Civil Rights Commission?
Hello, thank you so much. My name is Bethany Snyder, and I'm the chair of Urbandale Civil Rights Commission. I'm also the board chair of One Iowa Action, our state's LGBTQ organization. This is really meaningful to our family. I'm a lesbian and my partner is a trans man, and we live in Urbandale, and we're proud to live in Urbandale. We're small business owners. Our kid goes to school, and this is such a great reminder that we live and work in this community, and that we are a vital part of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would also like to say I'm the current program coordinator for One Iowa. I identify as non-binary and previously did work in Urbandale for a couple of years. And so I just would like to thank the City Council for making this proclamation today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is a proclamation for Fair Housing Month 2024. Whereas the right to fair and equitable housing is a fundamental principle that contributes to the strength, diversity, and well-being of our Urbandale. Whereas the month of April has been designated as Fair Housing Month, providing for an opportunity to reflect on the importance of ensuring equal access to housing opportunities for all individuals, regardless of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, or familial status. Whereas fair housing laws protect the right of every person to live in a safe, secure, and discrimination-free environment, fostering inclusive communities and promoting the values of equality and justice. Whereas Urbandale values diversity and fairness in our community and strives to be welcoming and inclusive. So now, therefore, I, Robert Andeweg, Mayor of the city of Urbandale, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2024 as Fair Housing Month in the city of Urbandale. And I'm not sure there's anyone here to accept this as well. Yep, yeah, so I thought.
So good to see you again. We're thrilled that you guys. Can I get
Yep, I can take, yep, for sure.
The professionals.
I missed some little picture we took last year.
Just shoulder surgeries notwithstanding. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
And I got one more.
Thank you. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just real super quick. Good evening, Your Honor, members of council. My name is Matt Hauge. I'm the Outreach and Communications Director for the Polk County Housing Trust Fund. I'm joined tonight by our Executive Director, Toby O'Berry, in his first year of service. Welcome and thank you, Toby. Our friend, Bobretta Bruton, tonight representing numerous community causes, including Corinthian Baptist Church and others. Fair housing is foundational to, and the city of Urbandale. You are a proud resident of this fine community. Yes. We are so honored to be with you here tonight to celebrate the cause of fair housing. Fair housing is fundamental to quality of life in our communities, not only for people who are here, but also for people who want to be. The city of Urbandale has been looking at a lot of housing issues on a very proactive basis, passing a comprehensive plan that's got a lot of great opportunity for continued progress, and we look forward to being your partner in implementing all of that. I also just came from Drake University, where we were gathered for a convening of Uplift, the region's basic income pilot, which Urbandale is a supporter of, and many people at that convening encouraged me to thank you all for your support of that fine program this evening, as Urbandale is a financial supporter of Uplift, which is helping to provide opportunities for people in housing and basic needs in the region, and supporting important research. So thank you all tonight for the opportunity to be here.
All right.
Bobby?
Thank you. All right. And finally, we have a proclamation for National Arab American Heritage Month 2024. Whereas the month of April has been designated as National Arab American Heritage Month, a time to recognize and celebrate the rich cultural heritage, contributions, and achievements of Arab Americans in Urbandale. And whereas Arab Americans play significant roles in shaping the cultural, social, economic, and political landscape of our community, contributing their talents and perspectives to the diverse tapestry of our nation. And whereas this observance provides an opportunity to promote understanding, appreciation, and awareness of the Arab American community, fostering unity and celebrating the positive impact of Arab Americans. Now therefore, I, Robert Andeweg, Mayor of the City of Urbandale, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2024 as National Arab American Heritage Month in the City of Urbandale. I don't believe we have anybody here to accept this tonight, do we? Tonight, so we will make sure that gets forwarded appropriately though, so. All right, that ends our special presentations. We will move on to Citizens Forum. This is the opportunity to address the council on something that's not a part of tonight's regular agenda. Would anyone like to address the council this time, other than Channing Dutton? Channing, go ahead.
Hello to present and distant members of the City Council. I'm Channing Dutton. I live at 3815 Greenview, just a few steps away from City Hall. And I'd like just a minute and a half of your time tonight to talk about a suggestion that Tom Small from Urbandale made at the last meeting. And that was about the program last night for the Iowa State students interested in supplementing and helping the City Council with the Sustainable Urbandale Action Plan. What a neat program. It was inspiring to go. I went a little early so I could catch at least the last 2/3 of the basketball game. But those students have some really great ideas. And especially as I look at your program tonight, where we're talking about issues of inclusion, gender equality, fair housing practices, all of these are so important to a sustainable future for the city. And those students really are on top of all of those issues. But the one thing that I brought with me tonight to circulate with you is the concept of if the City Council builds it, people will come. Now, you know that I am concerned about climate impacts and how they will affect the city of Urbandale in the future. And I wanted to talk to you about an area of the state that I didn't know anything about. And this is the intersection of Interstate I-29 and Highway 92 in Council Bluffs. Now, if you're going to Omaha, you're going to the Berkshire meeting, you're going to a baseball game, you blow right by those interstate interchanges. But something remarkable has happened at that particular interchange, and that is they've built all sorts of shopping, entertainment, recreation, and trail system right there at that intersection, and some clever person dropped a Tesla supercharging station for the coming electric vehicles right in the middle of it. And not only does that supercharge those vehicles, but it supercharges that business community. And this took planning and foresight. My wife likes it because the supercharger is right on the backside of a TJ Maxx. There's a Target within steps of where this particular supercharger is. There's 9 separate restaurants. There's shopping district there. There's a Sam's Club. All of that is accessible along with the pond that you see in the image, which is a walking trail. And so this is now a must stop for us as we travel to Omaha and back because we're driving that electric car that needs to be charged. And the clever action of just putting that charger in the right location, and Urbandale has great opportunities with all of the interchanges here for the coming electric car revolution. They're gonna need to charge. Let's have the vision to put those chargers right in the area where it helps our business and where it provides a walking path or a recreational activity for those people because they'll stay longer, they'll spend more money, and it'll help the city. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Channing. Is there anyone else like to address the council on something that's not a part of tonight's agenda? Okay, seeing none, then we'll move on. Item 5.1 is to approve the minutes from the March 19 meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Seconded by McBurney. Discussion, please vote.
seem to be having an issue on my side. That passes.
Okay, that passes. Item 6 is the consent agenda. There are 11 items for approval.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 7, public hearings. First was a public hearing, item 7.1, a public hearing and consideration of bids for the Hickman Road Viaduct Trail. The public notice for this was published in the, do I have them, Nicole?
March 15. March 15.
Oh, do I have them in?
They
Is it-
should be.
They all, okay, I have the one from the 5 o'clock meeting, but I don't think I have the other. Anyway. I'll ask, if you have them there, I'll ask you. Did we have them March 15th, Des Moines Register asking any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
As for motion to open the public hearing,
So moved.
motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And to introduce this is our Director of Engineering and Public Works, John Larson. John?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This is our bid tabulation for Hickman Road Viaduct Trail Project. On March 27th, we received 4 bids on the project. Shikar Engineering was the low bidder. So we're recommending accepting their bid in the amount of $689.16. Their low bid was approximately $291,000 or 29% below our engineer's estimate. With the project, we'll be constructing a 10-foot wide, 5-inch thick PCC trail that's approximately 1,700 feet in length, and we're anticipating things being done by September 20th. So just kind of show you where we're doing the work. Here is Parks and Public Works facility. So we'll be starting just east of the driveway, removing the existing 4-foot sidewalk and constructing the 10-foot trail. Today, the sidewalk is closer to the street. We're going to move back behind the bridge pier, continue on along, and connect back up here with the frontage road. Just to give you a little better feel, this is just kind of a rough 3D view that our engineer put together, but basically our cross-section that comes through where the railroad viaduct's at and the bridge pier is, we'll have some slope protection. Back here, we'll have a retaining wall, we'll have the trail, and then we'll have a fence along the south side of the trail. Where we have the bridge pier will be here, otherwise we'll have our slope protection, another retaining wall, and then slope protection down to the back of the curb. So what we're looking at here is this would be the back of the curb. Here would be our first retaining wall, and then our trail would come up, come behind the bridge pier, and come back down, and then we'll have retaining walls towards the back. The retaining wall sections are around 150 feet long in this area. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you, John. Any questions for John?
On that previous picture, you had that safety rail. Is that just on the backside of that pier, or does that go farther out?
It's around a good 150 feet, so it's most of this part where you got the wall. It'll continue up and come back on.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it's the, if it was just the pier, I was going to ask, why is it just the pier? But okay,
Yep,
sounds good.
so
Thank you.
it's basically, at this cross section is just at the pier, but our fence is just basically to keep you safe from Hickman there.
Thank you.
Hey, John, how did they come in $242,000 cheaper than the next closest bidder when the other 3 were all pretty close to each other?
Right, just competitive bid market out there. Sometimes certain firms need work and they tighten their pencil to get work that they
I was
need.
gonna say, did we dig in at all to see where, I just want to make sure that they're not cutting out something that somebody else is including that we would have wanted?
No, again, we have detailed bid items. They give us the prices. I have to look here in the memo. I try to remember the couple things that were a little less. It was,
So what was-
Basically, yeah, the retaining walls were kind of lower than the other ones. So again, they feel they can construct the retaining walls cheaper than somebody else.
Okay, I just want to make sure that they're not missing something and then,
We've worked with this contractor a lot
Okay.
in the past, so.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we are in public hearing on this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item, either for or against? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. There's 3 items for consideration.
Motion to approve resolution 096-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 097-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And motion to approve resolution 098-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right, I just want to say that's a not very long piece, but a very critical piece of our overall Complete Streets project and just overall accessibility for our streets. So thanks for getting into this far. I know it's also not very cheap either. I mean, the cost per foot probably is a little bit higher than what we normally spend, but
It's been 4 years in the making.
yeah, it's a difficult project, but thanks, John, for getting into this point, so. Item 7.2 is a public hearing and consideration of bids for the 2024 looped fiber project. The public notice for this was also published in the March 15, 2024 Des Moines Register. I understand the objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Motion to open the public hearing.
So,
Motion by Rosendahl, second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. John?
This is our bid tabulation for this year's looped fiber project. On March 27th, we received 6 bids on this project. We're recommending accepting the low bid from Klein Electric, doing business as Heartland Underground Solutions, in the amount of $146,250.01. Their bid was approximately $100,000 or 41% under our estimate. And basically, this is our last section of redundant fiber to city facilities. So this will be provided out to our western satellite facility, and we're anticipating it being done by October 25th. Just going to show you where we're going. It'll start here at 156th and Meredith, go out west on the north side of Meredith. We will tie in the traffic signal at 170th and Meredith, go up the east side of 170th up to Waterford, and then into our site. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right. Questions for John on this? Okay. We are in public hearing on this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 99-2024.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 100-2024.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
By McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And motion to approve resolution 101-2024.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right. Moving on to item 7.3, and that is a public hearing and consideration of bids for the South Karen Acres restroom project. The public notice for this was also in the March 15 Des Moines Register, and as there any objections to that, notice is published.
There were none.
A motion to open this public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And to introduce this is our Assistant Parks and Rec Director, Scott Hoke. Scott?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As the mayor said, we're here to talk about South Karen Acres bathroom first. This is the replacement of removing the current wood-structured restroom that is located in the park. Staff would do the demolition on site, and then the new restroom would provide 2 ADA all-gender restrooms, an exterior drinking fountain that has the dog dish, the water bottle filler, all of those amenities, and then it'll have a little roof for an overhang as part of the project. This is just a little schematic drawing of what it will look like. It'll be a nice aesthetic improvement to the site. The current one is definitely lived its life. And this is just an overview of what we'll have. It's although fairly simple, it will serve the needs of the park for sure. So bids were received. We received 4 bids for the project with a good range in there based on, how did I do that, Nicole? Sorry. 4 bids for the project. Staff is recommending the approval of the agreement with Concrete Connections in the amount of $275,000, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions.
All right.
Is the current restroom, is that handicap accessible or not?
You'd have to use it, you'd have to be pretty generous in your measurements, probably, yeah. So,
And is that portable restroom going to be handicap accessible?
yes, we have a handicap accessible one that we'll get when this one comes
Awesome.
down, so when our current one comes down. So.
All right. We are in public hearing on this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? Okay, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 105-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 106-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And motion to approve resolution 107-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Thank you. Item 7.4 is a public hearing and consideration of bids for the Walnut Creek Regional Park Playground Equipment. The public notice for this was also in the March 15, 2024 Des Moines Register. And as for any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Motion to open this public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Scott?
So our next project is the Walnut Creek Regional Park Playground. The location for this proposed playground is just south of the large shelter that's just been there a couple years, and then we have a large parking lot there as well too. So it's all south of Aurora, and of course fairly close to the Bob Layton Trail as well. This is just a little bit tighter look at what we're talking about. Again, the parking lot is right there really close. This would be a regional sized playground, so a larger playground, obviously based on the dollar amount. But we did ask for a few things, a minimum of 2 tot swings, 2 belt swings, and at least 1 companion swing, at least a 200 square foot shade structure so we can put picnic tables underneath it, and then a minimum of 2,000 square feet of rubberized surfacing as part of the project. And then, of course, we did emphasize to focus on inclusive design components, although not intended to be all-inclusive, but definitely working toward that. Vendors were asked not to exceed a dollar amount of $480,000 for the equipment and the installation of the equipment. We had 8 vendors submit a total of 11 different proposals, which was a really great number. We directed people to our website. We put door hangers out. We posted it on our social media sites. We had a total of 46 online comments. And then the proposals were also evaluated by city staff on 4 different categories, including play opportunities, the site compatibility, inclusive design, and then cost value. And then design option number 2, which is a little ways down there, they're listed in alphabetical order, did receive the most support. This is an image of what design option number 2 has included in it. You can see it is a ramped play structure to get into the play structure, and actually the ramp goes very deep into the structure. It also includes some other components we can talk about. This is a little bit, just a good overview of what we're talking about. It's a very active piece of equipment. Just another angle of what we're looking at. But one thing that you can kind of see here in the middle, this access up to the tower is a ramped access, which is a nice inclusive design. It's the first one out there that actually does that to get kids all the way up to the tower. And this is looking at it from the other side. Colors will be decided later. These are not the colors that we'll go with. So there are several inclusive design components as part of this. As I mentioned, the ramped area, there's some musical elements that will be available. And then we have an inclusive whirl. It's really just a merry-go-round, but a nice piece as well. And then some additional ones, obviously some panels that would be included. And then this ramp, again, as I mentioned, on the tower gets you up into the tower. And then within the tower, there are some isolation pods. A lot of people on the autism spectrum like to have a little quiet area, and that's what that serves for. And then we have the Rock and Rider, which is an inclusive designed seesaw. And then, of course, movement is great for kids, so swings and different components. This one will feature a 35-foot track glide, 2 tot swings, 2 belt swings, 1 expression swing, and then this tri-runner swing, which goes around and back and forth, so it really gets you moving. If anyone is interested in trying it out, I'd highly recommend it. So.
Like,
Yep, let's do it.
So we are going to make some adjustment to the current square footage of the pour and play rubberized surface, just so council understands, to make it even a little bit more easy to get from different parts through on the rubberized surface. So we're going to work with, should council approve today, we're going to work with the designers on that. And then there'll be a final site plan that will include tree placement, the location of the shade structure, sidewalk connections that'll go all the way back to the restroom, a little barrier between the parking lot and Park Road and the play equipment. Obviously, stormwater management is important to us, and then leave some room for some future expansion. Installations based on manufacturer's schedule, but we're anticipating a fall installation on this one. So, and with that, staff is recommending the approval of the purchase from Cunningham Recreation in the amount of $479,844.34, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
I just love that you read my mind. Thank you. You read my mind. And
Okay.
yes, I appreciate you guys taking a more inclusive approach to the equipment that we purchased. I love the fact that you said that this is going to be one of the very first play systems out there that includes a ramp for children to be able to go all the way up to the top of the tower. So, and including the isolation space too. So thank you so much for doing that.
Is the
Based
remaining,
on what you just presented.
go ahead, Pat.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, Pat.
I was just wondering what's not inclusive, because it seemed fairly comprehensive.
So yeah, I think the only thing that we probably are missing is the pour and play area. It doesn't cover the whole space. So you can see where it kind of ends here. Again, we're going to adjust it to try and encompass a little bit more of the structure. But there's about $100,000 worth of pour and play on this piece. But it's a large footprint, so it's not all pour and play. But one thing that we can add later on, if funds become available, we could take out the mulch and add in pour and play, and really at about the same cost that we'd be doing it now. It really wouldn't cost that much more. We'd have some time involved in getting the mulch out of there, but the square footage cost would be about the same. So that's probably the only thing, but you're talking another $250,000 to cover the whole area probably.
And with that, the remaining $150,000 that's been budgeted for this, that's that expansion or the future expansion area that you had on one of the earlier slides, or is that?
So that's to get the sidewalks, the trees.
Oh, okay.
It'll have an external concrete sidewalk around it. So that's where those costs are.
So then a few slides back where you've got some of the shaded areas over the map. Might want one more back. No, there we go. So the future site improvements, that is just a totally separate project. that
Correct. Yep.
We'll see what happens in the
We're
future.
leaving it open for something that 5 years from now, we might say, you know what, we need one of these. So, and we'll try and put it there. So we're open for council input on that one if you got good things for us.
What is it?
All right. Any other questions? All right, we're on public hearing on this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 108-2024.
By McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 109-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And motion to approve resolution 110-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. That ends our public hearings. We will move to item 8 to establish new public hearings versus item 8.1 to establish a public hearing for the development agreement with the Urbandale Food Pantry. Curtis, answer any questions if there are.
I move to approve resolution 111-2024.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 8.2 is to establish the public hearing for the Hopkins Road to 70th Street storm sewer repairs. Don, to answer any questions on this, if you have any.
Motion to approve resolution 095-2024.
Motion by McBurney,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And finally, item 8.3 is to establish April 24, 2024 as the public hearing for the operating budget for fiscal year 24-25.
Motion to approve resolution 112-2024.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Moving on to planning and zoning items. Item 9.1 is the Lions Park Phase 2 Improvement Site Plan at 4103 72nd Street. And introducing this is our Community Development Director, Steve Franklin. Steve?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Let me pull a drawing up for you. This is probably the most helpful graphic with this project. This is a site plan for Phase 2 of the Lions Park Master Plan. Phase 1 was approved last year, and that was the reconstruction of the spray pad, splash pad. So this next phase is kind of centered down here in this southwest portion of the park. And what you can see here is there will be the construction of 4 pickleball courts. You got to have pickleball these days, right? Not allowed to not have pickleball. So 4 pickleball courts, a tennis court here with pickleball lines on it so that you can play more pickleball, and then 3 half courts for basketball up in this area. It does also include a couple of shade structures, which you see noted here, and the first section of a trail that will go through the middle of the park. And so that's this area right in here that runs from Prairie Avenue up to where the basketball courts are, and the rest will be done in a separate phase. Also in Phase 2 is a detention basin, which is the area you see noted here. And then in this blue color is future phases to come with more improvements to the park. Planning and zoning does recommend approval subject to items noted. Be happy to answer questions. Scott, Jan, anything I forgot that you'd want to add? No? Okay.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Questions for Steve?
I don't know, AJ, I didn't check my email, so I'm just going to ask questions.
Please, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to check this morning, so on the C100 sheet, there was talk about a tree removal in the southeast corner there, and it was marked as 2C. I think that was supposed to be the shed removal for 2C. And so I think it might have supposed to have been 2B.
Yes, there is a shed that's to be removed as part of the project.
Okay.
So,
There is a tree there too.
yeah, and there, yeah.
It's been noted in your notes as well as, we'll make sure it gets corrected.
Awesome.
Looks like 2C is the shed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then just in regard to, I noticed that there was mention of closing sidewalk. Just with how there was a concern last year, or maybe the school year earlier on with the splash pad, closing part of the sidewalk, getting up to the high school. Is there any considerations that we need to make sure that that walkway up to the schools is safe?
Yeah, and we did discuss that. What will probably happen is we'll probably end up during construction closing some of these off. This doesn't get the flow through that the other side does. Some of them will go, most of the people that park here, we think are probably staff that park there. And so we would, during that construction, when the sidewalk's gone, we'd have them, they'd have to park either on the other side or farther in the school parking lot would be an option as well too. But the high schoolers park up on the north side and they don't travel to the south. So that will help us on this one, so.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve Council Letter 7745.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 9.2 is to consider the Living History Farms Cultivation Center site plan at 11101 and 11121 Hickman Road. Steve?
Okay, this is a project that Living History Farms has been working on for some time. And so this is a site plan for a first phase of what they're looking at doing out there. And it's a proposed cultivation center. So on this drawing here, you can see the existing building, the existing visitor center. This area now is all currently parking lot. And so this is a proposed building here that is 8,700 square feet. It will have facilities, it'll become the new entrance to Living History Farms. It'll have facilities for guests, gallery space, offices, meet those needs. And then there's also the redoing of the parking lot that will happen. What is in gray here is what the new configuration will look like. Some parking lots or parking spaces that currently exist here under the building. That'll all kind of be reworked. Right now, they have about 390 parking spaces on the site. With doing this project, that will knock that number down to about 317, which is significantly more than they need on a regular day-to-day basis. And when they have those big events, they're parking in other areas as well. So this will more than be adequate for the day-to-day operations of what they're doing out there. And then, like I said, there will be future phases that will be coming down the line, including the current visitor center being converted into a learning center to be able to serve more of the schools and the youth camps, some classrooming space and programming space in there, just kicking off part of a kind of a bringing up into the current age with some new projects. So Ruth, did I leave anything out? Anything else you want to add?
The picnic pavilion.
Oh, yes, there is a picnic, sorry about that. There is a picnic pavilion that's part of this project as well. About 1,200 square feet for that, which will be used mostly for those large school groups when they come out to visit. So Planning and Zoning Commission does recommend approval. Be happy to answer questions, and Ruth House with Living History is here and can answer questions as well.
And that picnic pavilion, is that kind of like an open air shelter where there's shade offered? Okay.
Yeah.
And since the parking lot structure, I know that the Holiday Lights uses that as kind of the ending area. Has that been kind of made into consideration, or they know kind of this is coming and that may change things?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, they do know it's coming in. As a matter of fact, late this afternoon, AJ probably hasn't had a chance to get you a drawing yet, but Ruth sent us a drawing that shows you what the new alignment through there will be for that particular event, and AJ can get that to you so you can see that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
All right. That?
With that, I'll make a motion to approve Council Letter 7746.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And you also have a big announcement tomorrow, Ruth, right? So. Okay. I'll just announce it right now. Tomorrow from 4 to 5:30 at Living History Farms, they're going to have a celebration and an announcement on this, so. Great. Congratulations, and we're very proud to have Living History Farms as part of Urbandale for so many years. So we look forward to many, many more years of collaboration with you. So thanks so much for doing that. Thank you so much. All right, moving on then to item 9.3. That's the Walnut Crest Plat 4 preliminary plat and site plan and final plat at 4403 and 4481 154th Street. Steve?
This is a very straightforward project. This is for the townhomes that are being constructed in this area here in red. So this is the intersection of 156th and Meredith. This is the existing come and go. This is the existing car wash. So it's directly to the east or behind those. There was a site plan that was approved previously to do 40 townhome units on this property. And the thinking at that time was it would be all on one lot, would give them the ability to be able to rent these. Ownership has since rethought that, and they do want to actually replat it now so that each unit is on its own lot, and this would give them the ability to be able to sell these for individual ownership. So as you look at it from the outside, as you've driven by there, you've seen that the project is currently under construction. You won't see any differences at all. This is just a legal document issue to put each unit on its own individual lot so that they can sell them. Everything else about the project is exactly the same. So with that, Planning and Zoning Commission does recommend approval. Be happy to answer any questions.
Yep, the only thing I think you already answered it, but just confirming the only difference from when we approved this last year is that they're platting this out individually.
Correct.
Okay.
There are no changes to the site plan. We had them do a revised site plan in the preliminary and the final plat, just so we had all the legal documents, but everything is exactly the same. Same number of units, same location, everything's the same, just all now on individual lots, correct?
Okay, perfect, thank you.
And looking at this, the road that goes in, that's coming from 4555, not the car wash?
Correct. There's a drive that comes in here. There's a couple of different accesses. One is a full movement location, one is a ride-only location, and you can come in that direction and then hit the street that comes in, that comes down to where the middle of the townhomes are. And then there, you can also get out in this location here as well.
Okay. And did I see that right, that there's a sidewalk connection to the south there? To that existing
I'm trying to
trail?
remember now, Jason, what the limits of the sidewalk are on there. Do you remember?
Not to the east, to the south. It didn't look like there was one to the east.
Oh, coming up from this development here
Yeah.
to the south? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
All right.
Recommend approval, council letter 7747.
We need to take these as two separate items.
Oh. Okay. So then move acceptance of Walnut Crest Plat 4 site plan?
Preliminary plat and site
Preliminary
plan.
plat and site plan?
Yep. Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And move approval of resolution 104-2024.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. That completes planning and zoning. Moving to regular agenda items. First is item 10.1, the 2024 A Series A General Obligation Capital Loan Notes. To introduce this is our Finance Director, Nikki Lamb. Nikki?
Mayor, members of the council, this is the first step in getting ready to sell the bonds, which is going to be April 16th. I did notice there's 3 extra zeros on the agenda there. I'm not selling $13 billion.
Oh, wow.
We got a little zero happy, sorry about that. The council letter is correct and the actual resolution is correct, but $13.385 million. This will fund all of the projects outlined in the CIP and in the council letter. Anticipating bond sale on the 16th, as I said. And this is just approving the official statement that will hit the market tomorrow. And then also the dissemination agreement with Piper Sandler. They do the postings to the public forum that we're required to have outstanding debt, just to amend these bonds into that agreement. So that is all I have procedural tonight.
Yeah, that would
Bring
kind
the
of blow
bids
our debt
back.
limit, wouldn't it? If we went to that would kind of blow our debt limit if we went to 13 billion.
Yeah, 13 billion is not in our limit.
Hey, we'd finally give them something real to complain about.
So what is our Moody's rating then?
We're AA1.
AA1.
We called that for as long as I can remember.
We were a AA2 for a while. When I first got here, it's been AA1 for at least 15 years, I would go. So we're just not quite big enough to be a AAA, but we hit all of those marks. We had our Moody's rating call last week. We should get the rating confirmation on Friday.
Excellent.
So it'll be known when this hits the market.
We've always had very good comments from the ratings agency, though. And obviously, based on our rates historically, have been very,
Yes,
very
competitive.
attractive to bidders, so.
Absolutely. Hoping for some good rates. They have stabilized a lot even since last year, so.
That's good. And just to plug as I was looking through, they had the utilities listed. I think,
Those are the regulated utilities.
Okay.
Internet providers it would be several pages of them, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's so many. So they were required to list the regulated utilities available. Not many people telegraph anymore, but it is. It's technically the official telegraph regulation for us.
well,
All right, with that, we have two resolutions.
I move resolution 113-2024 for the sale of $13,385,000 of general obligation capital loan notes.
Motion by Rosendahl.
I'll second it.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Move resolution 114-2024.
Second.
Motion by Rosendahl, second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. Excuse me. That passes. All right, moving on to item 9.2 is to consider ordinance 2024-03 regarding amending Title 7, Chapter 77 of the Municipal Code, and to introduce this is John. Do you have anything further or nothing further to add? If you have any questions, John would be happy to answer them.
Motion to approve Council Letter 7743.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 10.3 is consider the bids for the 114th Street PCC sidewalk from Aurora Avenue to Meredith Drive. John?
Correct. So this is our bid tabulation for the 114th Street sidewalk that runs from Aurora Avenue to Meredith Drive. On March 27th, we received 15 bids on this project. It's probably one of the first times I couldn't fit them all on one slide, so I had to use two slides to fit all our bids. We are recommending the low bid of Hauser Concrete Unlimited, including alternate number 1, which the alternate included some different irrigation repairs. So the total amount is in the amount of $88,590. Their low bid was approximately $26,000 or almost 23% less than our engineer's estimate. And on this one, there is some cost sharing, which I'll talk about in a minute with the petition and waivers, but the city's share is estimated to be just under $41,200. So we're looking to construct a 5-foot wide sidewalk, be 4 inches thick, concrete, and approximately 1,700 feet in length. We do have 2 petition and waivers with the adjacent properties. Both are owned by R&R Realty. Basically, the petition waiver states that they're paying for half of the project cost, plus they would grant us whatever easements we would need for the project. So we're anticipating that our work would be completed by September 20th of this year. And just kind of showing you where we're at. Up here at Meredith, going down 114th, there's an existing sidewalk. We'll pick up where that ends and continue south down to Aurora Avenue. Next year, the plan is to continue the sidewalk south down to Douglas Avenue, then come back the following year after that and go east on Aurora Avenue to connect over to the pond. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, questions? All right, we have 3 resolutions.
Motion to approve resolution 103-2024.
By McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 115-2024.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And motion to approve resolution 116-2024.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 10.4 is consider the bids for the 2024 ADA Improvements Program. John?
Yep, so this is our annual ADA program. On March 27th, received 11 bids, not quite as many as the other project, but still kind of enough to fill 2 tabs here. We are recommending the low bid from JC Construction, the amount of $105,938.50. Their low bid was approximately $5,000 or 4.7% less than our engineer's estimate. With the project, we'll be reconstructing the ADA ramps at 10 intersections. There'll be a total of around 450 square yards of sidewalks and ramps, and then we anticipate being done by September 20th. Just kind of where we're at, the bulk of them are on 84th Street, north of Meredith Drive. We do have one on Parkview Drive and Oakwood Drive intersection. Then we have something at 62nd Street and Townsend Avenue. And then we have one out on Hickman Road, just east of 142nd Street on the trail, right on the frontage road. Then our final one is on 70th Street and at Rockland Circle. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
So with this program, is it entirely in repair and maintenance, or is it somewhere where we're continuing to identify areas that need ADA access?
This is a requirement for the federal funds that we receive. So we're required to put together a plan, I believe it was approved in 2019. So basically every 15 years you update that, but there was priority levels. You know, there was next to schools, next to public facilities. Now we're really kind of out into the neighborhoods. So basically there's $100,000 every year slated for just this project, but whenever we do like a patching program, if we're in the neighborhood adjacent to the ramps, we replace those at that time. Or if we've got a construction project in the area, we do the ramps at the same time. So we just kind of track all these different ones, and then, you know, when we hit the 15-year limit, we'll reevaluate things and kind of adjust our plan.
Thank you.
All right.
Move to approve resolution 102-2024.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 10.5 is to consider the purchase of joint and crack sealant. John, answer any questions if there are.
Motion to approve Council Letter 7753.
Motion by McBurney.
Second.
Second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 10.6 is to consider the purchase of office furniture for the City Hall remodel Phase 2. Scott, answer any questions if there are.
Motion to approve Council Letter 7744.
Motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote.
I lost my check mark, if that helps.
Did you lose your check mark? Oh, it's way at the top.
What was it, way at the top? Okay.
I just checked, mine's still there.
So close to the end here.
We're so close.
At least there's only 2 left for, I got to do a voiceover.
Take a roll call?
Yes, we'll do a roll call.
All right, so it was motion by, who made the motion, who did the second?
I think I did.
Motion by
Rosendahl.
Rosendahl, second by McBurney, discussion, roll call.
Rosendahl.
Yes.
McBurney.
Yes.
Bodie.
Yes.
Thank you.
That passes. Item 10.7 is consider the purchase for the South Karen Acres Park Playground equipment. Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Back again at South Karen Acres, where we were a little earlier for the restroom. This one is to replace the current play structure that was installed in 2000. The new playground, it'll have multiple decks, 3 slides, climbers, again, back to 2 swing and a companion swing. We actually are going to fit a track glide in here because we're going to make some modifications to the current sidewalk. 2 of the sand digger cranes, and this one will also have about 1,900 square feet of pour and play surface and some inclusive components as well. You can see the layout here. Over here is the restroom that we'll be replacing. This is the current playground area. There's a small one here and then a larger one here that had a really weird piece in it that made it difficult to do anything in that middle space. So we're gonna redo the sidewalk here and then make some adjustments here to make it the size a little bit more conducive to what we had for budget. But the bidders were asked to not to exceed $180,000 for this project. We had 4 vendors submit a total of 7 proposals. We did have one that exceeded the dollar amount, so they were excluded. So there was some confusion on their part, but the rest all got it right. Letters were sent to neighbors, and the information was posted on our social media sites. We had a total of 22 online comments, and then as usual, staff evaluated this one on the 4 different criterias. And the design option number 1 from Bolin did receive the most support. Notice it's not the highest score, but it did receive the most support, and it has a component in there that kind of led us toward that one. That component actually is this inclusive whirl, which is designed for wheelchair access onto the merry-go-round, which was a great piece that the other option did not have. So that's why we went with this one. It also has a little inclusive area, again, for some quiet time, plus multiple panels for easy access as well. This is the tower itself. That will be the big piece. It will have a track glide. You can see the little sand cranes over here. Those will be included. We don't have many of those left because we don't have a lot of sand left in our playgrounds. It's not ADA accessible, so we don't do a lot of sand. This is the overall layout, and you can see this area in red is the inclusive portion, or the pour in place rubberized surface. So it's, again, 1,900 square feet, and it's about $45,000 worth of pour in place. So installation is always based on the manufacturer's schedule, but we're planning for a fall installation. Staff is recommending the approval of the equipment from Bolin Recreation, which is a Miracle product, in the amount of $179,685, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Questions for Scott?
Move approval, council letter 7725.
Okay, motion by Rosendahl.
Second.
Second by McBurney. Discussion, we doing roll call? Or
We'll see.
we're back on the line?
Try.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's trying. There's my button.
There they come.
That passes. All right, that ends our regular agenda. Pat, do you have anything to add tonight?
I just wanted to mention that on April 9th at 3 p.m., I'm getting a tour of the Metro Waste Authority's Recycling Center in Grimes. They've brought in robots. It might be worth seeing, so if anybody wants to join me, let me know, and I'll make sure they're aware you're coming.
All right, thank you. Blake?
Just a couple of things. wanted to say thank you for the quick responses whenever I point something out on Douglas that needs attention. There was a sign down on the overpass or the bridge over there, so that was quickly remedied. I appreciate that. In terms of the flag, I think we're gonna hear more about that. So
Stay tuned.
thanks for coming out and supporting
What do you got here? Just
member
some
of committee here. Thanks to the staff. Oh, yeah, guys, see you up there. So thanks to the staff and the committee for taking the time and supporting the process. And I think we got really great stuff. And then the open house did manage to make a bit of that for the Sustainable Urbandale plan last night. There was a lot of really cool stuff there, and I'm really looking forward to the presentation.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
The Sustainable Urbandale plan.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Blake. Larry?
Yeah, I'll just piggyback off of that. It was more than what I expected for the sustainability open house. All the students were very well prepared and gave meaningful presentations, had open dialogue about what they found versus what we're seeing on the ground. So comparing data versus real life experiences was great. I think that they took a lot back from it to help prepare them for their final product. And then just thank you to the staff. I know it's been kind of a rigorous time. Nikki being a rock star, putting together all the frequently asked questions and preparing for something that none of us really asked for. So thank you. And then, between John and Scott for working between yourselves, putting together the playgrounds and putting together all the public sidewalks and just making Urbandale more accessible. I certainly appreciate it. I know it's something that I beat that drum every single time that you guys come up here with something. So I appreciate you guys looking into it even before we make those options. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right, thanks. Before we get to the flag, I do have a couple other things. First of all, last Saturday was our public talk with officials, and I know both of you were there, so thanks for being there, as well as Bridget. But again, it's disappointing, I guess, that's the only way to say it, on a couple of the bills that have passed. In addition to Senate File 455, which did pass, the Senate did pass the House version of what I call the vinyl siding bill. I think that's probably the most appropriate way to put it. So that passed as well this week. So, again, just nix at local control and home rule again on that. But, and also I mentioned this earlier too, the League of Cities, I'm on the legislative committee for that. We did meet for an hour on Zoom with Senator Dawson today. Senator Dawson is largely involved in discussions regarding property taxes and had somewhat of a decent discussion, but I think we're probably going to be looking at round 2 of property taxes next year, not this year. Hopefully we have a reprieve at least from this year. But the goal is to at least engage in discussions on it during the off session, and hopefully we can at least impart some thoughts from the city standpoint as far as how the difficulties we have and how things operate. And so it was I thought overall a constructive discussion, but it does sound like we better be prepared for next year for property tax reform round 2 next year. So also yesterday I had the privilege of going to VODEC just off 114th Street to acknowledge Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month for March. We did it in April 1, but we celebrated that in March, and then I don't know if it was on the KCCI or not. The KCCI was out there to cover it, but did they see it?
It was on.
Okay, so I was out there to do that. With that, now the big reveal.
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Can I say one more thing? I just really wanted to thank Nicole for putting together the Women's History Month panel that we got to participate in.
Oh, yes.
And Blake was there, and a lot of staff were there, and Bridget and Amy and Patty from UCAN and Tiffany from the Chamber. And it was just a lovely event, and I wanted to thank Nicole for doing that. And ditto everything Larry said about thanking staff for all the great work.
All right, thanks. Yes, and thanks for remembering, for acknowledging that. And Great job for participating in that last week. So thanks for organizing that, guys. So, all right, we are to the point of announcing the final designs for the flag process. And just want to recap where we are to date. We have had a lot of work by the Flag Design Committee and then to the expanded Flag Design Working Group, and I want to acknowledge all of their efforts so far. The Flag Design Committee, Councilmember Rosendahl was on that, as well as Emma Thomas McGinnis, Pat Finnerty, and Derek Zarn, and Rita Fredericks, AJ and Curtis, and Rita and Derek and Curtis, and not to exclude you, sorry, but.
I was along for the ride.
But along with myself, we spent a lot of time initially to get to the initial process, and then as we got into the later parts of the process after the initial flag designs were submitted, then we expanded the group to include Kate Newberg and Lisa Flyer, Gavin Moore, Samuel Larson, Hannah Ahmed, and Jody Gilson-Schragg. And Jody, thanks for being here as well. And again, spent a lot more time whittling down from, what did we start at, for over 400? Over 400 initial submittals, down to about 100 from the first time, then down to about 25, and then to about 10, and then down to what you're going to see tonight. I'm not going to tell you how many there are. We're going to just post this, but so where we are right now is you're going to see the final designs, which will go to all Urbandale residents, and that will be the opportunity for the residents to engage no later than April 8. We're going to be posting this on social media and on our website. The entire community will have the time to rate the flags and provide the comments. And at the end of the process, then the Flag Design Selection Committee will again meet to assess the results and to choose a final design. And the final design will be revealed at my State of the City address on June 27. So with no further ado, here are the final designs. So, all right. Oh, here's Pat. Pat, you just missed it, Pat.
I can see them.
All right, those are the final five. Again, thank you to everybody. Pat, thank you for all the work you've done. Pat was also our resident historian to tie us back to our previous flag and the flag we have before that. So I want to give Pat thanks to ties to our history and providing some of those contexts as far as how we do this. So Curtis, I want to, and Samuel's there. I can see in the background. Samuel, thank you for being here as well. So again, a lot of work by everybody involved in this, a lot of great discussion, and I just appreciate everybody's input, and we look forward. This has been a very, very inclusive process from the start, and a lot of hard work and tinkering with these to get them to the point where we are right now. So I'm very proud of where we are, and I know whatever is selected as the final flag is going to be a winner no matter what. So, Blake, did you have anything further you want to add from your perspective?
I'm excited.
Committee, anybody from the committee, you want to add anything? You're here. Thanks for being here. So.
And the council did a great job on your reading down. Thank you.
All right.
I'm so excited.
Vexillological. Can you say?
Yeah, the north, vexillological. Vexillological. We learned a new word in this whole process. The North American Vexillological Society, so their association, so NAVA. So Curtis did the initial research on that to get it to that point. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Encourage that. Make sure you get the word out on this. We want to have a very inclusive process on this in our community to have the input from our residents on this. So, all right. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Can you put that up again, Nicole? You have a second.